Hi, this is Balinkosi and you're watching Joburg Today.
Doug, Malibongwe, it is great to have you guys on the show to talk to us about the currently running Basha Uhuru Festival.
Thanks for having us, man. It's really good to be. When people think of Nando's, I think of great tasting chicken and funny adverts, and both of those things are true. We of course have the best tasting chicken and some really funny advertising, but there's a lot more depth to the Nando's brand than perhaps people realize. And one of the things which we're very proud of is our commitment to South African creative talent, particularly young creative talent. And Basha Uhuru, which is this festival, which is currently underway at Constitutional Hill, just down the road here in Johannesburg, is a massive, big youth festival in Youth Month, which commemorates the 1976 uprising, where a lot of those youth who were arrested spent some time in jail at Constitutional Hill. But this is a big event. It's in its 6th year now. This is the 2nd year that Nando's has participated in, which is a big festival which celebrates creative talent, particularly for young people, through music, through art, and through design. And so Nando's, I don't know if many people know this, but we're in sort of 24 countries around the world now, and all of those restaurants that we operate have original South African art hanging on the wall. So we're the biggest owner, if you like, of contemporary South African art, and we're very proud of it. And so, committing to young, creative, artistic talent, partnering with design geniuses like this man to my left, who'll tell you more in a second, to not just take what we've done with art, but also design, so all the furnishings, all the furniture, all the print patterns that we do. We partner a lot with young, creative talent in South Africa at events like Basha Uhuru, to put this talent on display. So they're expecting, tens of thousands of young people to descend this weekend. Saturday, tomorrow is going to be a highlight. There's some amazing music acts at this big Basha Uhuru event tomorrow, and Nando's is just thrilled and really quite humbled, to be honest, to be a part of this.
But Doug, why get involved in such an event?
Well, why wouldn't we? I mean, if you want, 10,000 young people, and I suppose the dominant narrative in, South Africa has been for a long time that cool creative things happen somewhere else, that big music artists happen in the US or the UK or Europe or wherever else, and they need to come here to impress us with their artistic talent. And actually what we're starting to see more and more, and we're very happy with this, is that we have really tremendous skills and potentials and artistic endeavors which we want to take to the world.
How important is it for such events to provide the platform for young creatives to express themselves and show the world?
I cannot, I cannot overstate how important it is. I cannot overstate how important it is, not just for people to be able to create or whatever, but just for the South African story in general. It's I mean, there's lots of stories that we hear about our country like that. Some are negative, some are bad, and some things are going bad, some things are going good. But when you see just the huge amount of people who want to create and who want to express themselves creatively, huge amount of young people, you recognize that opportunities like this are so important, We need a whole lot more opportunities. Even if you think there's the ones who are studying creative studies. Besides those people, there's other people who aren't even able to go and study the creative studies. And if you think of just the amounts of people that are coming out of art schools and design schools, and then the ones who haven't had the opportunity to go to art and design school, there are so many creative people around here. There's so many, and they have so many stories to tell. So, I mean, we need 1,000 more opportunities like this. It is absolutely crucial for the future, I think, of South Africa. And also, personally, I believe that we live in an era where creativity is more important than ever. Some of the best solutions to the problems that we have as a world, I believe, are going to come from people who exercise their creativity. And it's so important for us here to be doing this and to be pushing this creativity and to be creating more opportunities for young people to be able to create.
Now, all of this is happening at Constitution Hill.
That's right.
What is the significance of it, Doug?
Well, Constitution Hill is a really powerful place. It's kind of one of the high points of Johannesburg, from an altitude perspective. It's a place where lots of our history was written. It's a place where people like Nelson Mandela, people like some of the kids of the 1976 uprising were jailed after the Soweto riots, were held and incarcerated. So it's a place which has quite a dark sense of history. However, and this is the beauty of the South African story, is that wasn't the final word. And in fact, what those moments were moments of change. And it is often young people, creative people. It's often people who you don't expect, who make the difference and tell the stories of the world, and create the world that we want to be in. And so Constitution Hill, as a place to have this festival which commemorates the youth of the past, but also provides this platform which Malabungu was talking about the youth of today and the things which we're making to make a better South Africa and indeed a better world. And to get people to rethink not just the arts, not just South Africa, but in fact Africa as a brand and as an institution is influencing global culture, whether it's Wakanda and Black Panther, or whether it's trends in music. And it all stems from this place at Constitutional Hill, where you can look back, but to know that those dark parts of our history were not the end, that in many ways they were the beginning. So it's a place of great hope. It's not a frivolous place by any means. It's not just a random field somewhere where you put on a good musical act. It's a place which has a huge amount of depth and meaning. And crucially, it's the place where our constitution, which is still one of the best political constitutions in the world, was written. It's where it's held. And the flame of democracy, which has been burning for 22 years now, continues to burn. And as a brand which is famous for firing things up, to be associated with the flame of democracy is something which we're very, very humbled to be a part of.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot, Malabungu. In terms of where we are internationally, are we competing at the same level as, say, Italian designers, as American designers, European, Japanese designers? Where would you peg us?
My thing with it, we do have some challenges. In terms of the stories, in terms of the design ideas, definitely, I think we've got amazing stories to tell, and we're as good as anyone else and better than some. But our challenge lies mainly when it comes to, and I got this from a lot of the designers, when it comes to the artisanal skills. Whereas, you'd have, say, if you were talking about fashion and you're talking about haute couture in Paris or whatever, they've got 100 years of developing this particular technique. So therefore, they'll have more people around doing that. So our challenges from everyone I've spoken to lies in the skills development sector, in the artisanal skills, not from a lack of ideas. So for me, I'm more excited because a lot of people are also doing work in that section, and there I would bring the partnership between Nando's and the Spear Arts Academy in Cape Town. That is, they run an, what do you call it? I forget the word for it. It's not an internship, but an apprenticeship. Yeah. Yes, they run a 3-year apprenticeship that focuses on mosaics and ceramics. So they're building an entire group of people who have the skills to become artisans themselves through that partnership with Nando's as well. And obviously we need a whole lot more, like everything else, more. So I think we're in a good place in terms of ideas. We need to focus on improving those actual artisanal skills.
Yeah, if I can just jump in, I think what we have and what we've recognized, which is why we're partnering with people far cleverer than us when it comes to design, is an enormous amount of potential. But there isn't yet the kind of performance associated with that potential. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to compete on a global stage with the countries you mentioned. But we have to start quite small and quite thoroughly, building artisanal skills, building a business mindset. It's one thing having great talent, but you've got to know how to tell people about it, how to kind of communicate that, how to structure sound business relationships. And so a lot of what we're doing as Nando's is kind of modeling that, whether it's for artists, which we've done for a very long time, or designers more recently, is to build commercial competence as well as mining out this potential that we have, which is essentially creative in its origin.
Let's talk about tickets. Are they still available? How do I get access to them?
Yeah, they are still available. They're 50 Rand each, which is, honestly, that's a bargain for, I've been counting the sleeps to go to this event. They're $50 each. You've got to bashaUhuru.co.za. There should be 1 or 2 still available, so you are going to have to hurry. There were 10,000 people descending on Constitutional Hill last year. We're expecting a lot more this year. The lineup is bigger, it's better. It's going to be crazy. So check it out, bashaUhuru.co.za.
Gentlemen, what are your expectations for this year's event?
I've never been to a Basha Uhuru Festival, so so for me, I live in Cape Town, so this is the first time I've been able to attend. So I'm beyond excited. Between the combination of the music and the actual workshops that we're going to be running with young creatives, I'm super excited. First, I'm super excited to meet, because you get to, like I was talking about the Hot Young Designers competition. We don't get to meet the people. You get the entries, you read their stories, and then you've got the 10 finalists. The workshop, I think, on Friday is going to have about 100 participants, 100, 200, I'm not sure of the exact number. So to actually be able to, to meet a lot of the young people who, the young creatives and who really are hungry for more, that I'm really, really looking forward to. And of course, a bit of a party.
And what about you, Don?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all of those things. This is my second Basha Uhuru, so I think it's going to, whatever my expectations are at the moment, are going to be blown away come the end of the weekend, because that's what creativity does. It takes what you think exists and just makes more of it. And the Young Hot Designer competition, which we're running, has specifically focused on fabric design. I mean, we at Nando's use a lot of fabric, whether it's on kind of benches or uniforms or throughout the restaurant design. So, I think what we're going to see this weekend is going to be what, a Nando's restaurant's going to look like for the next couple of years. From Saudi Arabia to Chicago to Auckland to Johannesburg. And I think to be a part of that is very, very exciting for us as Nando's. And it is going to be one hell of a party. So get some rest.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time, and all the best.
Oh, what a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.